Our current economic grading scale is wrong. You're hyper-focused on one goal, growth. We use the metric gross domestic product, or GDP, to measure the pure dollar amount of goods we produce. But what we fail to measure is all the externalities that are produced along with it. Since the end of World War II, we've created a system predicated on growth, with little thought of our final trajectory. Our economic modeling systems at the time told us that ever-expanding production was equivalent to an ever-increasing quality of life. But we are already overexploiting Earth's resources, to a point of no return. In the future, as the global south reaches later stages of industrialization, they too will draw more resources. We've been fueling our cheap growth with a take, make, waste cycle, which may initially look good in your pocketbook, but in the end we pay for it with hidden costs. It's an extractive business model, one that pulls value from the ground and makes it disappear, inherently degenerative by design. Businesses are able to offload their harmful byproducts in the environment, where society carries the burden. The goal of endless growing profits has set us up on a course we cannot sustain. Taking a look at a graph of GDP versus greenhouse gases, we can clearly see their conjoined growth. So much so that CO2 savings from improving technologies has been cancelled out by further growth in the market. These two are so interconnected that we're even able to see how greenhouse gases dip when GDP falls. We've become addicted to easy growth, and it's our generation's turn to cut the cord and take a fresh look at what our goals are. One suggestion given by economist Kate Raworth is a complete redesign of our economic grading scale. She's designed a scale that incorporates the upper and lower limits of where our society should fit. The upper limits being our rate of resource consumption. This is a hard limit, where we know exceeding it will lead to irreversible harm to the environment. And the lower limit? Well, that's what humanity needs to survive, like adequate food and shelter. This new scale came out looking like a donut. With this, we're able to see a more accurate reflection of the health of our economy, being able to see where we are falling short and where we're succeeding. The goal of the donut is to shift away from exploitative economics and towards a sustainable society. One city that has taken Ms. Raworth's philosophy and put it into praxis is Amsterdam. They're committed to halving their new resources by 2030 and becoming fully circular by 2050. The Dutchmen, who pioneered our current economic system, are now at the forefront of our new transition. The first major policy initiative that they took was shifting what businesses were being taxed for. They've shifted taxation away from labor towards energy and resource consumption. By making resource extraction more expensive, they're effectively pushing businesses away from exploitative models and towards ones that are more collaborative in nature. They're a pioneer in sharing businesses, businesses that focus on community capital, like Airbnb, Uber. These companies are based around sharing access to already owned goods, eliminating the need for new products. But what this all is a shift towards the circular economy. The best way to describe the circular economy is with the tagline, "Waste is food." It's about replicating the circularity found within nature and importing it to our economy. Within the nature, there is no such thing as waste. No, instead the waste of animals is just fuel for another. The circular economy goes about this by finding innovative ways to reduce and reuse resources. For biological materials, it's about returning the nutrients to the ground. While for technological materials, it's about repurposing, remaking, and refurbishing. The circular template stands in stark contrast to our current linear ones. Let's take a look at an example. The Adidas Futurecraft Loops. These shoes are designed entirely out of ocean plastics and live multiple lives. Once the shoes are all worn out, they are returned to Adidas, where they harvest the materials and rebuild the shoe. The materials will forever remain in the cycle. This is where running shoes highlight a key aspect of the shift that the circular economy is working to make: the transition from consumption to utilization. Benefit from a product does not come from sole ownership. Running shoes are pointless when left in a closet, or even worse, in a landfill. Instead, benefit is derived from the shoe's utilization. One way that companies are making this happen is through service-based businesses. This is where companies retain ownership of a product and instead sell access to the good. What this does is allow producers to control the entire life cycle of a good and reuse the materials. An exemplary company using this business model is Interface Inc. They're the largest provider of office carpet. They do not sell carpet. Instead, they sell the surface of having carpeted floors. They control the life cycle of the carpet, and they are able to harvest material, making new carpet 98% recyclable. The goal isn't to merely produce as much carpet as possible, but to have the most amount of people utilizing carpet. The goal of the Doughnut and the circular economy is to transition away from 19th and 20th century chains of thought. It's far too easy to accept the pre-established theories and believe them as gospel. We, like every generation, are living in unprecedented times, which call for unprecedented solutions. We can either choose to accept the old math that got us here, or we can create unique solutions to our unique problems. Hey guys, for anybody who wanted to learn more, I would suggest reading Kate Raworth's book, Doughnut Economics, 7 Ways to Think Like a 21st Century Economic. I think in this book, she really kind of gives a very good overview of the problems of our current system and ways that we can create new solutions. I'd also throw you to the Ellen MacArthur Foundation. They have a lot of good research looking into the circular economy and new solutions into it. Thank you guys for watching.